11 News starts with breaking news.
Good afternoon, everyone. Breaking now, Mike Bloomberg drops out of the Democratic presidential race, and he is endorsing Joe Biden. Bloomberg had a disappointing show last night on Super Tuesday with just one victory in American Samoa after spending $500 million on advertising. In a statement, he said, "I have always believed that defeating Donald Trump starts with uniting behind the candidate with the best shot to do it. After yesterday's vote, it is clear that candidate is my friend and a great American, Joe Biden." More breaking news. A new director of the Allegheny County Health Department was just named, and she is no stranger to Pittsburgh. The change at the top comes as the department prepares for the coronavirus. Channel 11's Amy Marcinkowitz joins us live downtown with breaking details. Amy?
That's right, Peggy. You know, this was a 7-month national search, and we learned just a few minutes ago that the next Allegheny County Health Director is a local gal right from our area. County Executive Rich Fitzgerald says sometimes the best people are right in your own backyard, announcing Dr. Deborah Bogan has accepted the job. Her resume is very impressive. She's a vice chair for education in the pediatrics department of Children's Hospital. She completed her postgraduate work at Johns Hopkins University, and with the coronavirus on everybody's mind, we asked her thoughts, and she tells us she's researching it.
So trying to keep up, and I will keep up, and I will be in touch with people at the health department over the next 2 months, but I am going to try to transition my current role.
Now, Dr. Bogan is expected to start her new position in May. Reporting live, Amy Marcinkowitz, Channel 11 News.
Also breaking at noon, Los Angeles County leaders just declared an emergency after discovering 6 new coronavirus cases in just 2 days. The county now has 7 confirmed cases. An emergency declaration could provide more resources to combat the virus.
Someone's child, someone could lose a child. Not even a child, a jogger, anyone. This is just dangerous.
Neighbors angry after an out-of-control driver crashed in Brookline. Security video shows the car hit a pickup and then another car. We first followed this as it was breaking this morning. Channel 11's Jillian Hartman takes us through the path of destruction.
Well, we're getting a close-up look of the aftermath. You can see here that the driver damaged the back of this car and then also knocked off the front tire of this truck. Now, after hitting both vehicles, the driver ended up in this neighbor's yard, slamming right into this concrete wall. And you can see over here, the yard is torn up with pieces of the car scattered on the ground, and the home next door caught the whole thing on camera. Here's surveillance video of that crash this morning on Bel Air Avenue.
Around 4 a.m., we heard a screech and a crash.
The crash woke up several neighbors, including Mike Wells, whose truck was damaged. Wells says the street has a reputation for being extremely dangerous. He says he's less worried about the damage to his truck and more nervous about the reckless drivers on his street.
This can be fixed, but someone's life, I mean, that'll affect multiple lives. That cannot be fixed. So the whole street situation is what has me upset.
He says he's just thankful the crash did not happen when his kids were heading to the bus stop. Now, Pittsburgh police say they made the woman who was driving do a field sobriety test on scene. We're waiting to hear back on those results and see if charges will be filed. Right now, neighbors are working to fix the damage. For updates, just head over to our WPXI News app. Reporting in Brookline, I'm Jillian Hartman, Channel 11 News.
One student is in the hospital and another faces attempted homicide charges after a school bus fight in the Highland School District. According to the criminal complaint, one of the boys got off the bus along Jolly Hill Road in Harrison Township. Police say the other grabbed a crowbar mounted near the driver and chased him. They scuffled, and the victim was hit 3 times with that crowbar, twice on his head. At that point, the 17-year-old suspect told detectives he blacked out. When police found him, he allegedly said, "I just did a homicide." It is unclear if the 17-year-old suspect will be charged as an adult, but we do know that he is charged with criminal attempted homicide. The superintendent told us the district does not have a statement and that this is an active investigation. A jury could get the case today in the trial of a woman accused of helping a convicted cop killer. Lisa Harrington is the cousin of Ramel Holt. Holt is on death row for killing New Kensington police officer Brian Shaw in 2017. Prosecutors claim Harrington helped Holt hide from police and got rid of the gun used in the murder. That gun was never found. But our partners at the Trib report yesterday, one witness testified that they saw Harrington with Holt at a house shortly after Shaw was killed. Another witness said they saw Harrington take an item from the house a day later. State police need your help finding this 14-year-old boy. This is Shea Badillion. He's from Washington County. He was last seen in the Fredericktown area yesterday. This photo is not up to date. Investigators say he has since shaved his head. If you see him, call police. Getting a little break from the rain, but the clouds are moving in, and meteorologist Scott Harbaugh tracking when the next round of showers will be pushing through. He's in Severe Weather Center 11 for us.
Not too far off. Much like yesterday, quick rounds of showers this afternoon, although minus the thunder and lightning like we had yesterday afternoon. Currently 49 degrees in Pittsburgh as we look live into downtown. We're starting to see some clouds. That wind still pretty gusty. West-southwest at 11, gusting to about 20 miles per hour. Storm tracker Doppler 11 radar. Live look showing some rain showers up near the I-80 corridor. I've been checking the observations. A lot of this not yet reaching the ground. It has to overcome some dry air, but it will this afternoon. And notice the crux of the rain back to the west, so this will start to roll in during the mid to late afternoon hours. Storm tracker bringing into Pittsburgh by about 4 or 5 o'clock, so a wet evening across the area, but quickly heading out. This is just round one of 2 rounds of weather that I'm tracking for the second half of the week. Coming up in a few minutes, updated storm tracker Friday to show you which neighborhoods are going to see some snow. Peggy?
Good night. And it seems to be getting even better. They don't call Super Tuesday for nothing.
Joe Biden celebrating a big night after racking up a string of victories on Super Tuesday. He now leads the delegate count. Senator Bernie Sanders also had big wins in California and Colorado. NBC's Susan McGinnis has more on what has become a 2-man race for the Democratic nomination.
It's a comeback considered unimaginable just days ago.
They don't call Super Tuesday for nothing.
Former Vice President Joe Biden finishing Super Tuesday primaries with the most delegates. Voters turning out in force, withstanding long lines, handing Biden key wins, including Texas, helped by African-American and older voters, and a little from his wife, with a quick maneuver to block a protester from storming the stage on Tuesday. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders gives up the lead, but wins with younger and Latino voters.
I am excited about where we are. We have come a long, long way.
Former Mayor Mike Bloomberg endorsing Biden and pulling out of the race Wednesday morning. His $500 million in ad spending netting him a win only in American Samoa. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren forced to take a close look at her path forward after finishing a disappointing 3rd in her home state of Massachusetts.
I was not born a politician, but I was born a fighter.
But the night belonged to dual winners, now setting their sights on the ultimate prize.
This campaign will send Donald Trump packing. This campaign is taking off. Join us.
We're going to beat Trump because this will become a contrast in ideas.
Each man declaring himself the one to beat President Trump. Susan McGinnis, NBC News, Washington.
Exit polls show about a quarter of voters made their decision late in just the days leading up to Super Tuesday, and that bloc largely voted for Biden. A possible coronavirus case is under investigation now in Pennsylvania. According to several news outlets in Philadelphia, there is a possible patient there, but the Philly Health Department says the risk is still very low. The state health department just started doing its own testing for coronavirus this week. They can do about 6 people a day. Congressional leaders are set to meet this afternoon to talk about the virus. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi invited Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. The leaders are expected to focus on preparing for the virus and keeping Congress's doors open. The Vatican says Pope Francis only has a cold and is without any symptoms related to any other pathologies. The statement followed a report that said the Pope had tested negative for coronavirus. The 83-year-old pontiff has taken ill at a time when Italy is battling a surging outbreak of the potentially deadly coronavirus. The outbreak is so bad in Italy, it announced today all schools and universities will shut down for 2 weeks as the coronavirus death toll rises. There are no known cases in our area, but the Allegheny County Health Department does expect some cases to start showing up. We know that a lot of you have concerns about what happens then, so we are running a special report tonight on our streaming apps, and it will cover everything you need to know and how the region is preparing for when the virus arrives.
The fact is that it is a very real possibility that we're planning for. Not a quarantine, but minimizing people in interactions in large crowds.
And you can watch Coronavirus Pittsburgh Prepares at 7:30 tonight on WPXI Now. If you don't have our app, just search for WPXI on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. There are still a lot of questions after remains were found near the home of a man who's been accused of murder. Christian Moore Roos's body was found yesterday in Fox Chapel. He had been missing from Penn Hills since December. His body was found behind the home of Adam Rosenberg. Morerouse's mother says her son and Rosenberg were friends. Chopper 11 was above the scene as investigators searched the property. Investigators won't say what led them to the area.
They were far enough off into the wooded area where you wouldn't be able to see them from the roadway.
Rosenberg is already facing charges for the death of Jeremy Dentel, who was shot inside his home in Baldwin last month. A woman is accused of bringing heroin into a local Walmart. Police say Amanda Crosby had 35 stamp bags of heroin inside her coat while shopping at the East Huntington Walmart. Workers called police after she dumped a metal box with drug paraphernalia inside. Coronavirus fears for the Pirates, what they're doing at their spring training facility to ward off the virus, and the new rules for Major League Baseball. A new look at the changes ahead for Pittsburgh International, an update on the airport makeover. A Target 11 exclusive, a medical marijuana user fighting her DUI charge, and the Star Power coming to her defense.
Plus, a narrow band of showers this afternoon. I'm updating Storm Tracker to pinpoint the hours that you can expect rain.
You're watching WPXI Now, your source for original local shows. All the best things happening in Pittsburgh in one place. Watch 11 Things to Do, Thursday and Friday mornings at 9:15 on WPXI Now and on demand. Pittsburgh's chief meteorologist, Stephen Cropper, to keep you ahead of every twist and turn. Real, clear, accurate. Pittsburgh's chief meteorologist, Stephen Cropper. That's coverage you can count on. Watch David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan on Channel 11 News at 5.
We are getting a better idea of what Pittsburgh International will look like. These new renderings of the airport makeover were just released, and there are updates to the original plan. Channel 11's Mike Holden shows us what we can expect when those renovations are complete.
Airport officials say these new upgrades will take the flying experience literally to new heights. They're optimistic about the future, and they believe all flyers will enjoy the experience. Big changes are on the way right here at Pittsburgh International Airport. Allegheny County Airport Authority officials showed Channel 11 these renderings of the planned upgrades. The project is all about modernizing the terminal. You can see the spaces open with more natural lighting and sleek styles. Part of the plan includes shifting the multimodal complex a little to the north. The new terminal will replace the current landside terminal. Airport Authority officials say it's all about convenience. It will cut down on the number of gates, and there will be more covered parking. No county taxpayer dollars will be spent on the project. Flyers say the $1.1 billion in upgrades are necessary, especially when it comes to competing with other major markets like Denver and LAX.
A lot of the airports tried to be like us when we first started off, like with the mall-like experience, and that was years ago. So it is time for an upgrade, more technology.
Having a first-rate airport is always essential in competing for, corporations to come in and things like that.
And the groundbreaking on this project is expected to happen this spring. The overall project will likely be completed by 2023. Coming up on Channel 11 News at 5, we're taking a deep dive into the master plan and what else you can expect. Reporting from Pittsburgh International Airport, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
The Pirates spring training facility is getting a deep cleaning, and it comes after a positive coronavirus case in Florida. The team confirmed with ESPN, they're using a sanitizing machine on all surfaces in the team's clubhouse, the press box, the dugouts, and concession stands. The Pirates will hold a meeting today to address safety protocols. The MLB has a few new rules because of coronavirus. Players are not supposed to touch baseballs or pens that fans hand to them. A Pennsylvania school district is using one of their flexible instructional days to prepare for the coronavirus. There will be no school for students next Friday at General McLean in Edinburgh. The Erie County District set aside the day to educate teachers and staff members on what to do if there's a confirmed case. The owner of an accounting firm in Massachusetts is hoping to get out in front of the virus. He gave $1,000 to all 18 of his workers. He told them to stock up on supplies just in case they need to work from home because of coronavirus. The owner says he wanted his staff to understand that this was going to be serious.
And, hey, listen, go out and protect your family. And because their family is my family.
I missed a meeting and there's a check on my desk, and then I got the explanation. Oh, wow, it was just something, very different, very special.
Another worker says it wasn't about the money, but the kindness of the gesture.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
A live storm tracker Doppler 11 radar showing a couple showers off to our north right now. I just checked the observation sites, and what those are is where we actually get data from across the area. None of this is reaching the ground. A little bit's reaching the ground up towards Meadville, in Erie, and also over towards DuBois right now. But for the most part, we're dry across the area for the moment. Weak little wave coming through, and with that, there will be some showers this afternoon, especially late afternoon through early this evening. Then we'll start to swing them out. So we're talking maybe a 1-2 hour window of some rain. You can already see the cloud cover starting to move in, so that abundant, brilliant sunshine we had this morning already starting to slowly fade away. So when you can't be in front of your TV this afternoon, maybe you're out and about trying to enjoy some temperatures in the 50s, just take the Severe Weather Team 11 app with you. Has the interactive radar on it, plus any alerts that need to be issued from us, you get them automatically to your phone. Free downloaded iTunes and Google Play. Just search WPXI. Here's Storm Tracker this afternoon. Again, 1 o'clock. Some rain finally reaching the ground up near Franklin. Makes it into the Pittsburgh area by about 3. Although, bulk of the rain north of Pittsburgh even at 3 o'clock. And then here comes the main line. 5 p.m. could be some brief, heavy downpours as it pushes to the southeast. By 7 p.m., already south of Pittsburgh. By 10 o'clock tonight, a couple lingering showers in the mountains, and that's about it. 52 for the high temperature today with the increasing clouds. Could be a couple showers and breezy conditions this afternoon. Tonight, down to 30. Skies will begin to clear out. Not a bad day tomorrow. A little on the cool side, but still above normal for this time of the year. Sunshine, few clouds, high temperature tomorrow, about 48 degrees. Now, just to remind you that we're not quite out of winter and we're still in early March. Friday, we'll start the day with a couple snow showers in the area. 5 o'clock in the morning, storm tracker, a few snow showers to the north of Pittsburgh. Then watch the snow showers start to come in during the day, mixing with or becoming rain in parts of the area before this exits out Friday night. Again, we're not looking at any big accumulations, maybe a dusting on the grassy surfaces, and you could pick up an inch or two in the mountains Friday night. Then we set up for the weekend, and the weekend really looking good right now. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. A couple afternoon showers today, make it to about 52. Then tomorrow, partly sunny, 48 for the high temperature. Friday's definitely the cool day of the bunch and probably the ugliest day of the bunch as well. Off and on rain and snow showers throughout the day. A little breezy. We'll struggle back to 40 degrees. Most of the day will only be in the 30s. And then Saturday and Sunday, good deal of sunshine both days. A little chilly on Saturday, 41 for the high, but Sunday, easily the pick day of the weekend at 56. And oh, by the way, that's the day we move the clocks forward Sunday by an hour, so you get to enjoy an extra hour of daylight at the end of the day. Peggy?
Love it. Ahead, the Pittsburgh neighborhood pushing for change and how they plan on creating a new image. A neighboring police force was patrolling this community, but not anymore. We're asking what's being done now to keep everyone safe.
Hey Pittsburgh, if you haven't signed up for local steals and deals, now is the time. Just get out your phone and text the word WPXI to phone number 65000, and I'll send you everything you need to get the most exclusive deals in town. That's WPXI to phone number 65000, and you'll be the first to know.
A special song and a meal to honor police. The local elementary school hosted nearly 20 officers to teach students kindness and an appreciation for law enforcement.
We really appreciate when we are invited to take part in things like this.
Giving back to those who protect and serve makes us proud to be from Pittsburgh.
Proud to be from Pittsburgh. Brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Great cars, great people. For a great deal on a Honda, visit shop. Tracking the weather in your neighborhood.
Community groups are working to change the image of Homewood. The Homewood Collaborative, which is made up of 7 nonprofits, hired 2 companies to retool the neighborhood's brand. It's called the Homewood Experience campaign. The companies are working on a website, social media accounts, commercials, and an art walk. Their goal is to shine a positive light on the good things happening in Homewood to attract more people and businesses.
Different stereotypes that may be on us, the violence that may plague our communities, and it all seems to overshadow who we really are. We truly believe that there is vision and voice in every community, and this is an opportunity for us.
They plan to use about $100,000 for the campaign, and the total project could take up to 5 months before it's complete. The U.S. Justice Department has launched a hotline to help victims of elder fraud. It comes as 4 people from our region face charges. Those charges range from wire fraud to impersonating an IRS agent. U.S. Attorney Scott Brady told the Trib our seniors lived, worked hard, and played by the rules their entire lives, and he says we're going to do everything in our power to keep them safe. Here's a look at that hotline number, 833-372-8311. It is staffed by people who can provide personalized support to those who think they might be victims. A medical marijuana user is fighting her DUI charge. She says the DUI laws have not caught up to medical marijuana laws. Only Target 11 found out the star power coming to her defense.
Afternoon plans, take the umbrella. I'm updating Storm Tracker to pinpoint when you'll see rain in your neighborhood.
You're streaming WPXI Now, your source for breaking news, weather, and original local shows. Murder, mystery, and the missing. Justice Rules profiles real-life crime stories. Tuesdays at 9 p.m. right here on WPXI.
Scott and Tricia are going to tell you how to start your day.
Every single time we go to Scott, he's bringing new information. He wants to make sure you're prepared for your day.
You ask Tricia where is the closure, she knows it, and 3 ways around it. They're the best in the city.
Channel 11 News at 5, covering more news happening in Allegheny County.
Big developments in a Target 11 investigation into medical marijuana and driving laws in Pennsylvania. In an exclusive report, we told you about a woman charged with DUI after traces of medical marijuana were found in her system. Target 11's Rick Earl found out some star power is joining her defense team.
Dr. Cyril Wecht has agreed to join the defense team as they attempt to fight this medical marijuana DUI charge and change the laws.
I'm just blessed to have, Patrick and now Mr. Cyril Wecht helping.
With defense attorney Patrick Nightingale working the case and now help from world-renowned forensic pathologist Dr. Cyril Wecht, Beth Rep is preparing to fight the medical marijuana DUI charge. Are you guys hoping you can bring about some change?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Change is needed, and no change ever happens without some tough choices. So we're on a long road, but you know what? It's worth it.
It all began last fall when Rep suffered an epileptic seizure and crashed her car in downtown Pittsburgh. Paramedics assumed she had overdosed on opioids, so they gave her Narcan. After Rep regained consciousness, she told them she didn't do drugs, just medical marijuana. Blood tests confirmed that, finding traces of cannabis. Police then charged her with DUI under Pennsylvania's zero-tolerance law. Nightingale has now filed a motion claiming it's unconstitutional to legalize medical marijuana, yet charge drivers with DUI with no evidence of impairment. Dr. Wecht will be his expert witness.
He'll be the one testifying and helping us build the record to demonstrate that merely having THC metabolites or low level of delta-9 THC in your blood has no correlation to impairment whatsoever.
Nightingale is hoping this case will ultimately lead to change.
The bills that have been introduced in the legislature are not moving through committee right now, so we've got to take any opportunity that we have to challenge this ridiculous law.
Rep's trial is scheduled for August, and that's when Dr. Wecht will likely take the witness stand. Attorney Nightingale tells me he's prepared to take this case all the way to the state Supreme Court if necessary. At the Allegheny County Courthouse, Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
We are getting a little break from the rain, but the clouds are moving in, and meteorologist Scott Harbaugh tracking when the next round of showers is going to be pushing through your neighborhood in Severe Weather Center 11.
Main crux window about 3 to 6 p.m. this afternoon into early this evening. Right now, looks like there's more out there than there really is. Live storm tracker, Doppler 11 radar. Let me explain. Some of this is not reaching the ground because the air is dry at the surface. So what happens is it falls from the clouds and it evaporates before it gets to the ground, called virga. We got a couple areas of the darker green up into Mercer County and also into Jefferson County where some of this is reaching the ground in the form of sprinkles. Even checking back towards New Philadelphia, that's not reaching the ground either. So we'll see some showers this afternoon, mainly with this batch back to the west here. Notice the yellow is starting to develop with it. That's the crux of the moisture that's going to come through this afternoon. So clouds will continue to stream in. Might get a sprinkle or two from time to time the next hour. I-80 corridor, you'll start to get some showers first. But it's really 3, 4, 5 o'clock. We'll start to see that rain as we go through the course of the rest of the day today. Temperatures do fall off later today, and some cooler air is going to be in place as we hit the weekend, so that will be able to allow us to get a little bit of snow heading into the weekend. I'm updating Storm Tracker right now to pinpoint when that's going to fall in your neighborhood. I'll have it for you coming up in about 15 minutes.
Pittsburgh is going to be in the international spotlight this month. G7 leaders are meeting here in just a few weeks. The meeting will be made up of secretaries of state. We listed the participating countries on your screen. They're going to be meeting March 24th and 25th at the Omni Hotel. The last time Pittsburgh hosted an event with the G7 community was for a G20 event in 2009. You might remember the intense protests from that event, and nearly 200 people ended up being arrested. First responders and several state agencies have been training for this anticipated meeting. The details of that training have not been released. A program that turns churchgoers into armed security guards is returning to the Pittsburgh area. According to the Trib, the Georgia Firearms and Security Training Academy will host the event this June at Union Presbyterian Church of Robinson Township. This is video from last summer when a class was offered in Irwin. A Westmoreland County native will lead the class. He says there is demand following attacks and threats against churches and synagogues. We saw a lot of flashing lights last night at a home in the Hill District. This was the scene of a fire along Mahan Street, and you can see from this video how close the houses there are together. One of the neighboring houses was damaged by flames. Investigators are trying to find out what caused the fire because nobody lived there. The local community does not have full-time police coverage because the township that was patrolling it just stopped. Up until last week, Donegal Township Police were patrolling and protecting Buffalo Township. Channel 11's Kara Sapita learned the problem comes down to a contract.
Buffalo Township, Washington County just lost its police coverage due to a technical error. The township is approximately 20 square miles with about 2,500 residents and a large amount of farmland. Neighboring Donegal Township has been providing police protection for them for the last few years, not knowing the contract expired. And last week, that all came to an abrupt end.
Essentially, for the last 2.5 years, it would appear that Donegal Township has been providing police protection to Buffalo Township without any agreement or authority to do so.
Township Solicitor Lane Tuturis had to contact the district attorney, the president judge, let the public know, and lastly, tell state police. Without a contract, Donegal officers cannot enforce laws here. Troopers will now be responding to all calls around the clock for Buffalo Township.
If I have to call 911, or if I'm not at home and my family has called 911, I want to know the cops are going to be here.
But neighbors we spoke to today were concerned with potential response times.
State police are already taxed, and if I have a call, I know they're here. State police might be in Bentleyville, for as far as I know.
I think that it definitely could cause a problem as far as safety issues for them having to travel as far as they have to travel.
State police have been providing part-time services, and Buffalo Township will fall into an established patrol zone. They don't release any details on how many troopers cover a patrol zone, though. The head of the state system of 14 state-owned universities says that declining enrollment, rising student debt, and less commitment of tax dollars has left the system in an urgent situation. The chancellor has asked the House Appropriations Committee to approve legislation that would give cash and more authority to the system over how it spends money. The North Allegheny School District is making changes to improve learning. According to the Trib, the school board approved plans to alter the middle school schedules so students have more time for English and math classes, and so teachers are better able to coordinate homework assignments. The big question now, how much are those changes costing? The superintendent says it's too early to know. Flu season may be peaking in Pennsylvania. That's according to the state health department. Officials say the number of cases is increasing, but the number of new cases reported each week is down. There are now more than 106,000 cases reported here in Pennsylvania. 74 people have died. Allegheny County still leads the state with nearly 11,500 cases and 12 flu-related deaths. Flu season runs through May. Speeding through a work zone is going to cost you. The program no longer in the testing phase. And people with disabilities being dropped into their seats. Why, that's just one problem that they say the airlines need to fix.
News is happening in your neighborhood. Channel 11 News is there.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, and Butler. We cover news everywhere you live, not just downtown. We're in Aliquippa, Coraopolis, and Moon.
Bringing you stories that impact your town. That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
More local news from more neighborhoods. That's a fact. We're in Bethel Park, South Park, and Mount Lebanon. When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News.
5, covering more news happening in Washington County.
Dramatic video out of New Jersey showing 2 state troopers pulling a man from a burning tractor trailer. You see the troopers rush in and pull the driver out far away from the trailer. Seconds later, the truck explodes. That driver suffered only minor injuries. If you're caught speeding through a work zone, it's going to cost you. The 60-day grace period on the new police enforcement program is over. PennDOT installed cameras last year to keep an eye on drivers. It uses electronic speed timing devices to see how fast you're going. Anyone going 11 miles over the speed limit will get a ticket. The first offense is a warning. The second offense, is a $75 fine, and it goes up from there. In 2018, there were 1,800 crashes in work zones and 23 people died. A government report says the number of passenger disability complaints has steadily increased over the last decade on airplanes. Most were about workers who could not properly help the passengers, plus seating problems and problems with service animals.
The personnel tried to lift me up over the fixed armrest into my seat, but they were not strong enough and ended up dropping me on the armrest as I slid into the seat.
The Department of Transportation is working on making sure that bathrooms on single-aisle planes are more accessible for all passengers, including people with disabilities. There's new research on ways to treat depression and anxiety, and it uses magic mushrooms, the results of a study on the impact of hallucinogenic drugs.
A couple hours worth of rain later this afternoon. We've got new storm tracker to put the timing together for your neighborhood.
You're streaming WPXI now. Channel 11 expands its streaming live newscasts. When other stations are national, Channel 11 News is local, right here at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on WPXI Now.
News 11 and 11 means you get 11 minutes of news and weather
Before the first commercial.
It means live coverage of breaking news, local news, and your first look at weather.
All before the first commercial.
Channel 11 News 11 and 11.
Watch tonight.
The 7-day forecast, now on your screen all the time on Channel 11 News.
Could psychedelic drugs be used to treat major depression? Groundbreaking research is now underway at the university in Georgia, giving volunteers the mind-altering compound in magic mushrooms. Channel 11's Gordon Lesh looks into that research.
We all know magic mushrooms as a 60s counterculture phenomenon, turning on and tuning out. But there's growing evidence this psychedelic drug can pull people out of crippling depression and anxiety.
I never quite felt I belonged in the world, wherever I was.
Ovarian cancer survivor Dinah Baser fell into a deep depression that her cancer would return.
I was overwhelmed with fear and anxiety that this thing would come back.
She decided to sign up for a research study to treat cancer-related anxiety. She took a single pill containing psilocybin under the care of therapists and laid back. At first, she says, the experience was frightening and reached out to the therapist.
He took my hand and he said, just go with it. After a while, I saw my fear. It was a black mass. It was not a cancer. It was the fear, the anxiety. I yelled, who do you think you are? Get the f out. And it disappeared.
The New York University research trial that Dinah was part of found positive outcomes in about 60 to 80% of those who took the psilocybin. Emory University in Georgia is participating in another study, giving a single dose of the hallucinogenic drug to volunteers with major depression disorder. The psychiatrist leading the research believes psilocybin could reframe one's thinking.
Can help people transform the way they understand their connectedness to the world, what they're going through, in a way that reduces the distress.
Dr. Dunlap says the research he's doing is part of the first placebo-controlled study of psilocybin to treat depression in patients where traditional prescription drugs have failed.
As opposed to chronically dosing a pill, we have a one-time, intense, transformative experience.
But Dr. Dunlap emphasizes the importance of doctor oversight and warns that self-dosing is risky.
My biggest concern is that people are going to think, oh, well, I'll just buy some magic mushrooms and I'll be able to get over my depression, where that is exactly not what we are doing.
If the research shows success in treating depression, it could one day become legal to prescribe psilocybin for use in a clinical setting. But Dr. Dunlap says that's still several years away. Gordon Lesh, Channel 11 News.
Westmoreland County needs some extra money, and they're looking to sell some land. The county wants to sell 110 acres of vacant land in Hempfield Township to the Westmoreland County Industrial Development Corporation for $2.4 million. The company wants to use it for housing, retail, and office space. Commissioners are expected to vote on that deal tomorrow. 2 more counties are now on the list of quarantined zones for the spotted lanternfly. Allegheny County and Beaver County are on the list. The invasive species attacks things like grapevines, fruit trees, and hardwoods. If you see an egg mass on a tree, officials say you should scrape it off and then report it to the state agriculture department. Starbucks kicks off spring with a pop of color. 2 coconut milk drinks, the iced pineapple matcha green tea, and the iced golden ginger drink. Also new, nitro cold brew topped with salted honey cold foam and toasted honey. Tax season is here. If you haven't filed yet, consumer advisor Clark Howard warns why you might want to think twice about who you let do your taxes.
This is going to shock you, but do you know that anybody can hold themselves out as a tax preparer? The IRS has no real system to control who you pay to do your taxes. Now, there are real people doing taxes. There are what are known as enrolled agents that are registered with the IRS. They're the real deal. And then accountants who are CPAs who do tax, they're the real deal. Everybody else, you got to be careful out there. A lot of times there are people who say, I can get you a huge refund. And they fill out a return that isn't really true, listing deductions you don't have, maybe kids you don't have, and they look like a hero to you, right? Because they got you this huge refund. Wrong. Because eventually the lies are going to catch up with who? You, not that preparer. So really be careful. What you're signing your name to has to be true. I'm Clark Howard.
And you can see more from Clark Howard on our streaming app by searching for WPXI on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Now about to see another wave of showers come through the area during the course of the afternoon and into the early evening. Live storm tracker Doppler 11 radar showing some precip off to the north. And as I mentioned last half hour, been checking the observation sites, just finally starting to get some sprinkles down near Oil City. Meadville seeing a little bit of rain. Erie seeing primarily rain, although a couple wet snowflakes. mixed in at this hour. Most of the precip is back to the west. In Ohio, notice the areas of darker green and yellow starting to pop. That's what's going to head in our direction, and by mid to late afternoon, we'll start to see a couple of those showers. So maybe not the best car wash afternoon today. Tomorrow, though, you can get it washed. Friday, looking at some periods of snow and rain, and then we start the weekend off fantastic. Good deal of sunshine on Saturday. Storm tracker this afternoon. This is the updated storm tracker. Here comes that rain into the I-80 corridor, 3 o'clock. Pittsburgh area, just about 3 o'clock as well. By 5 p.m., the first wave is already east of Pittsburgh. Secondary round of showers comes in 5, 6, 7 o'clock, and then heads out this evening. Skies will clear overnight tonight. Temperature will drop off, too. We'll be down to about 30 degrees by first thing tomorrow morning behind this front. Again, a couple showers very early this evening. Otherwise, skies clear out tonight. Tomorrow, pretty good-looking day. Sunshine, few clouds, not quite as warm as today, but pretty close. 48 for the high temperature tomorrow, and not nearly as much wind. So tomorrow actually will feel a couple degrees better than today. Friday morning, we're talking the possibility of a couple snow showers. Storm tracker at 5 o'clock in the morning. Fairly quiet, but as we go through the day, we'll see bands of snow trying to break out. And with that, some rain as well. Notice, though, we're not talking a lot. This is going to be very hit-and-miss stuff. Not really going to impact your plans. At worst, might get a dusting on some of the grassy surfaces around Pittsburgh. Could get a little more southeast into the mountains, especially Friday evening as this pulls through. And then by Saturday morning, it begins to head out. We will be a little cold to start the day Saturday, but not terrible. And then Sunday, the better of the 2 days. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. Showers rolling in this afternoon, 52 for the high temperature. Tomorrow, looking pretty good. Mix of sun and clouds. More sunshine than cloud cover, though, and a high temperature of 48 degrees. Friday, I like to call that the throwaway day. It's the worst day of the bunch. Rain and snow showers from time to time. Not all day, but certainly enough to be a nuisance. We'll creep back toward 40 degrees, but with the wind, it's going to feel like upper 20s most of the day. Saturday, we start cold, mid-20s, but we top out at about 41 degrees with plenty of sunshine, especially during the afternoon. Might start with a couple clouds Saturday morning. Then Sunday looks fantastic. Mostly sunny, high temperature all the way up to 56 degrees, and we'll stay in the mid-50s right through Monday. Peggy?
Nice. Thank you. A big jump for St. Patrick's Day celebrations in Pittsburgh, where the city now ranks compared to other U.S. cities.
Hey, Pittsburgh, if you haven't signed up for local steals and deals, now is the time. Just get out your phone and text the word WPXI to phone number 65,000, and I'll send you everything you need to get the most exclusive deals in town. That's WPXI to phone number 65,000, and you'll be the first to know.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lash.
And I'm Catherine Amenta.
At Channel 11 Morning News, we help you prepare for the day ahead.
Definitely the heavy rain gear today with temperatures.
Heavier delays for the inbound morning commute.
We expanded our breaking news team to better cover news happening right now and give you new information throughout the morning.
Let's get right to Jennifer Tomazik live at the breaking news desk.
A huge impact on the area. In fact, we just found out.
Don't miss anything happening in the morning. Watch Channel 11 Morning News. We're on from 4:30. watch Channel 11 Morning News.
Back on home ice, the Penguins found their magic last night, beating Ottawa to snap their 6-game losing streak. 48 seconds in, it's welcome back John Marino. After missing the last 11 games, Marino gives the Pens a 1-0 lead with his 6th of the season, and less than a minute later, Connor Sheary made it a 2-0. The teams traded goals, then Sidney Crosby gets one on his own. Sid's 14th, by the way. The Pens get a big win, 7-3. They head to Buffalo tomorrow night. Today's the first day of issue for the new Arnold Palmer Forever stamp. This is a look at that stamp. That's Arnie at the U.S. Open in 1964. You can start getting them today at the Latrobe Post Office. A sheet of 20 Forever stamps costs you $11. Well, this story is no surprise to us. Pittsburgh is one of the best places in the U.S. to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Wallet Hub ranks the Steel City 4th. That's up 4 spots from last year. Traditions like the parade, Irish population, Irish bars, all of those things. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. That's all for Channel 11.
WPXI-TV is proud to be the TV partner of Minutes Matter, a partnership between UPMC and the City of Pittsburgh.
In an emergency, minutes matter. Knowing how you can help in a crisis situation can save somebody's life. Joining me today to talk about Minutes Matter, a partnership between UPMC, the City of Pittsburgh, and WPXI, is Ben Reynolds, Chief Advanced Practice Officer with UPMC. Ben, why is a program like Minutes Matter